for the past 2 months.
Home of Occupy Wall Street for the past 2 months.
And birthplace of the 99% movement.
And birthplace of the 99% movement.
Were evicted by a large police force in full riot gear.
Were elected by a large police force in full riot gear.
With barely any notice given.
With barely any notice given.
The eviction started at 1:20 in the morning.
The eviction started at 1:20 in the morning.
Press were barred from entering the square.
Press were barred from entering the square.
Press helicopters were evicted from airspace.
Press helicopters were evicted from airspace.
Brooklyn Bridge was closed off.
Brooklyn Bridge was closed off.
And most subways were shut down.
And most subways were shut down.
The eviction was violent.
The eviction was violent.
People were hurt and their possessions destroyed.
People were hurt and their possessions destroyed.
Over 200 arrests were made.
Over 200 arrests were made.
Some of them were journalists and council members.
Some of them were journalists and council members.
At 6 in the morning, Occupy Park had been cleared.
At 6 in the morning, Occupy Park had been cleared.
The occupiers regrouped at Foley Square.
The occupiers regrouped at Foley Square.
And made the following proclamation.
And made the following proclamation.
We will reoccupy.
We will reoccupy.
You cannot evict an idea whose time has come.
You cannot evict an idea whose time has come.
We are here because we too believe a better world is possible.
We are here because we too believe a better world is possible.
Each of us can identify different problems within the current system.
Each of us can identify current problems within the system.
But we are unified in our desire.
But we are unified in our desire
To remove towards
social,
political and economic systems
systems
that benefit all.
that benefit all.
We are the 99%.
We are the 99%.
And we want to live in a world that is for all of us.
And we want to live in a world that is for all of us.
Not just for those who have amassed great wealth and power.
Not just those who have amassed great wealth and power.
There are now over 2,000 cities.
There are now over 2,000 cities
Participating in the Occupy movement worldwide.
participating in the Occupy movement worldwide.
We are Occupy Wellington.
We are Occupy Wellington.
We are occupying Civic Square as part of this movement.
We are occupying Civic Square as part of this movement.
We are an all-inclusive,
We are an all-inclusive, family-friendly,
alcohol and drug-free space.
alcohol and drug-free space.
We welcome you to join us.
We welcome you to join us.
Come for a general assembly or a workshop,
Come for a general assembly or a workshop,
or bring your tent and stay on.
or bring your tent and stay on.
Now we're going to have an update about what's been happening
Now we're going to have an update about what's been happening
internationally.
internationally.
By Ruben de Haas.
By Ruben de Haas.
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Tens of thousands of people
Tens of thousands of people
march across the world today.
march across the world today.
All our action is non-violent.
All our action is non-violent,
But the police's response is brutal.
but the police's response is brutal.
This morning in Wall Street,
This morning in Wall Street,
hundreds of people were arrested.
hundreds of people were arrested.
Many people were hurt.
Many people were hurt
For being concerned about the world.
for being concerned about the world.
Dallas, Berkeley, LA, and Portland.
In Dallas, Berkeley, LA, and Portland,
The General Assembly was deemed illegal.
the General Assembly was deemed illegal.
People are not allowed to talk
People are not allowed to talk
about the problems in the world.
about the problems in the world.
Earlier in Greece today,
Earlier in Greece today,
30,000 people took the streets.
30,000 people took the streets.
They were received by police
They were received by police
with tear gas and no respect.
with tear gas and no respect.
In Belgium, Holland, and France,
In Belgium, Holland, and France,
Chile, Canada, and Spain,
Italy, Canada, and Spain,
Indonesia, Italy, and Germany,
Indonesia, Italy, and Germany,
Egypt, Finland, and Poland,
Egypt, Finland, and Poland,
Nigeria, Austria, and Serbia,
Nigeria, Austria, and Serbia,
and in many other places.
and in many other places.
People have come to realize
People have come to realize
that we are not allowed to raise our voice
that we are not allowed to raise our voice
or allowed to protest.
or allowed to protest.
I would just like to say
I would just like to say
that the police is not the problem.
that the police is not the problem.
That the police are people too.
That the police are people too.
But I think it's disgusting.
But I think it's disgusting
They are told to fight
that they are told to fight
against their own people.
against their own people.
If you think this is the end
If you think this is the end
of the Occupy movement,
of the Occupy movement,
think again.
think again.
If you think we will go home,
If you think we will go home,
be quiet on our own.
be quiet on our own.
Think again.
Think again.
We are only getting started.
We are only getting started.
And we will change the world
And we will change the world
together.
together.
Thank you.
Thank